clear that his mandate will be based on diplomacy, and particularly economical diplomacy, because those are the countries he's tried to visit the most, not just within the region, but even outside the sub-region. And secondly, those are some of our, especially Rwanda and Uganda, are our neighbors with whom we've struggled in the past. And it's a clear signal that he wants to solve, particularly the security issues between the countries. So I think that is what mostly has prompted him to visit those countries first.
Yes, and we've also seen that both Rwanda and DRC, they've had a bit of tension in the past, but both presidents are keen on moving forward. But we still have rebel groups still based in the eastern side of Congo. Now, what do you make of this, and what do you think will be the way forward?
I think the situation has evolved greatly since 20 years ago, when those rebel groups, 25 years ago, when those rebel groups moved in the Congo. Today, it's clear to everybody that they are a negative force that we in the DRC or you in the Rwanda cannot work with. So both parties agree that it's a negative force, and the process of dismantling them either by demobilization and then repatriation in Rwanda, or by force if need be, has started. And I think the current president will just continue with that. But we hope that he will be a bit more serious than his predecessor, who tried to use insecurity to explain why we could not have elections and to explain some of the governance problems, saying that money had to be allocated to the war. But this one has shown positive signal that he wants and he intends to be serious about it.
Yes, and we've also seen that the former President Joseph Kabila, initially he had intentions of DRC joining the East African community, and now President Tshisekedi has also announced the intentions. Now, what do you think will be the best way to move forward, and has there come any involvement?
I think the matter of the DRC joining the East African community is not a matter of whether we should join or not. It's just a matter of time. Sooner or later, we will need to join. The DRC is a vast, vast country, almost landlocked, and we don't have any access to our east except through Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania, Kenya, and those are the countries that are part of the East African community. So it's a fact that we will have to join them. But it's not a done deal yet, because the process of joining the EAC goes through many phases. The first thing we have to do as a country is to express officially the desire to enter the community. Just a president mentioning it in a speech is not enough. As you say, President Kabila has done it 3 years ago, but it didn't move us anywhere. Somalia is more advanced than us in trying to join the East African community, because they formally wrote to the community sent inspectors and gave them a list of conditions that need to be met before their candidacy can be considered. The DRC hasn't done so yet, so that is a key thing to be considered before we can move forward.
Yes, and now we've also seen that the president said that the economic recovery of DRC is paramount. And we also know that exports from the EAC to DRC amounts to 6% of the total exports from the East African community to DRC. Now, what do you make of this, and how do you think the president is going to move forward in order to open the borders of DRC?
I think when you want to integrate a community, Fiona, you need to consider two things. The first thing is, what do you bring on the table? And the second thing is, what do they bring on the table? Now, the DRC is very different from other countries in the sub-region. I'll say we can group them in three types of countries. The first group is Tanzania, Congo, and South Sudan, which are very endowed naturally. They have tremendous natural resources, but the human resource is a bit lower educated, I would say, not to insult anyone there. We are educated, but maybe not to the extent of Rwanda and Uganda, and Kenya, which have focused more on the human resources and also their governance. So in order for this community to be mutually beneficial, the Congo needs to pick up a little bit on the human resource, and particularly in the governance, because when we will be exporting the raw materials, which is what we have most, we will need a good accountability so that the benefit of those natural resources will trickle down to the population. And on the other side, countries like Rwanda and Kenya need to see what in their production and productivity can be beneficial to the community. So those are the type of adjustment that will need to take place before any of the countries in the sub-region benefit properly. But also, Congo is a vast, vast, vast market. I'll say Congo and Tanzania, just the two of them are over half of almost half of the total population of the East African community. So the production of the countries that are a bit more advanced in terms of manufacture and all that will need to readjust and to see what exactly are the needs of the people in the DRC.
Yes, and now, as you mentioned, adjustment needs to be done and has to be done. Now, when we look at the tension that's there between Rwanda and Uganda, do you think that it will in any way affect DRC's plans?
Yes, it might affect DRC. It might affect the DRC because Uganda is key in terms of transit from the ocean to the Congo. And that is why in his last speech in Rwanda, when he came for the CEO forum, President Tshisekedi expressed it openly. He said that it's a bit concerning that there are tensions, but he hopes that the tension will subside and peace will be restored very quickly. Because it's even more important for Congo, for Rwanda and Uganda to be in peace than for any other country in the sub-region. And anything coming to Congo through Rwanda will have to pass either through Tanzania or through Uganda. And right now, the volume that comes through Uganda is bigger than the volume coming through Tanzania, because Tanzania doesn't have a direct border with the Congo. We only have a maritime border, a marine border through Lake Tanganyika, and the ports that are serviced by Lake Tanganyika are very small. That is Kalemi and Kweto and Uvira. But when you look at the physical borders, those are bigger. They serve big cities that like Rwanda, like Goma, cities like Goma and other big cities, Butembo, Beni, and all that. So it's very, very, very important that Rwanda and Uganda stay in peace and their borders stay very open for the transfer and transition of goods and services.